So thank you so much to all our group leaders for sharing the wonderful insights. We will now move on to our next discussion, okay? How can we make sure that cancer care, especially for survivors, becomes a regular part of healthcare in both public and private hospitals? Our next session will be moderated by Dr. Madeline Valera. Dr. Madeline De Rosas Valera is a public health expert with over 30 years of experience in the healthcare industry. She has had a number of senior positions in Philippine government, including as Undersecretary for Health Policy, Finance, and Research Development at the Department of Health and Senior Vice President din po siya ng PhilHealth. A recognized expert in health technology assessment or HTA, she has served as a World Health Organization Technical Officer for Patient Safety, advisor on data privacy law for health providers at the National Privacy Commission, and is presently the Philippines Senior Technical Advisor of Vital Strategies and advisor to the Board of the Private Hospital Association of the Philippines. Siya na po ang magpapakilala sa kanyang mga kasama sa section na ito. Please, let's welcome Dr. Valera.
Magandang hapon. Maayong hapon. Kasi po ako ay elongated at antiquated. Ang asawa ko ho ay taga Iloilo, ang nanay ko ho ay taga Antique, kaya antiquated, elongated pa. Pero hindi ho antigo ha. Siguro pwede muna tayong tumayo ng konti. Alam niyo, pag ako'y kumakain, yung pa ako ginaganon-ganon ko, parang sugar ko ha. Pero pagkatapos kumain, ako'y nagaganito. Pampababa daw ho yan ng sugar. So exciting. Okay na po. At least tumayo. Kaway-kaway. O, yan. Pag umaga, ganyan din ako. Kinakawayan ko yung mga ibon. Tapos yung tenga ko, ginaganon-ganon ko. Ginaganyan-ganyan ng tenga. Kasi ang tenga is representative natin tenga. Parang fetus yan, yung ulo nyo nasa baba ng tenga. So kung masakit ang ulo nyo, pindot-pindutin ang pinakadulo ng tenga sa baba. Yan. Yan. Ang immune system ay nandito, yung groove dito yan. Yan, pindot-pindot lang. Ganyan po. Okay? Thank you. Ready na tayo. Alright. So sa almost 2 araw matatapos ngayon, pinag-uusapan po natin ang importance ng survivorship and supportive care. Alam niyo ho, na-experience ko rin ho sumali sa ganyan. When I was in Boston, ako po naging navigator. So I know how it is to be a navigator to 2 cancer patients na mga bata. Isang 11 years old at isang 9 years old. Okay? So alam ko po yan. Kaso ang sa Boston kasi may batas eh. Tayo dito wala pang batas. Sana magkabatas ang survivorship and supportive care. Ipasok sa NICA. Like na sinasabi ni Secretary Ted, lahat naman tayo magkaka-cancer at darating sa doon. So, how can we tackle our unmet needs? Kanina, na-discuss na po. It was already, each coming from the patients, ano yung mga kailangan? Which is already evidence-based. Hindi na kailangan gumawa ng research. Identifying priority areas, ayan naman mo, nanggaling na sa inyo. And solutions. Nagbigay na rin ho kayo ng solutions. So, hindi na kailangang mag-isip ng madibdiban ang DOH. So, lahat tayo dito, hindi lang ho kayo, pati ho ako. Alam niyo po, hindi ko alam ito ni Cara, ako po ay cancer survivor. Nagkaroon ako ng cancer, adenoma benign lang naman, sa sinus nung ako nasa Germany. Kaya nung nagdidepend ako ng thesis ko, puro tahi yung gilagid ko. And in 2022, I had a big lump on my left breast kasi laki ng itlog. And ma-attend kami noon ng PCS Convention, private hospital. So yung 6 na surgeon doon, kinapakapa yung dibdib ko. Natuwa siguro sila sa kakakapa ng dibdib ko. Sabi na, Mads, alam mo naman yung good side and bad side. Alam ko na, huwag nyo nang kapain ng dibdib ko. But it was also adenoma and benign, thank God. So alam ko po yan. So ako po ay part ng survivorship. So kaya ko, my promise to Cara din, nung nakita kami sa Australia is, I will develop the breast cancer package. Thank you, PhilHealth. After a year, pinakinggan, in-implement. Salamat. So, we all agree that we must take steps to ensure na ang survivorship at supportive care ay talagang magiging bahagi na ng ating healthcare system. Dapat lang, di lang siguro sa cancer. Pero umpisahan na natin sa cancer. So nag-imbita ang iCancer ng mga eksperto. Tandaan nyo, eksperto sila ha. Ngayong araw para i-discuss kung paano natin may institutionalize. Siguro maumpisahan sa buong bansa o kahit man lang sa ibang mga bahagi ng bansa na pwedeng puntahan agad at ma-institutionalize, ma-sustain ang supportive and survivorship care in both public and private sectors. Our panelists come from different fields, sabi natin mga eksperto and sectors that we may have, so that we can have a multidisciplinary whole of society. Yan ang paborito ngayon, whole of society, whole of country approach to our topic. This is a brainstorming, walang mali, walang tama, puro tama, wala hong titong mali, kasi we're all brainstorming. Let's all pick their brains, and you've been already picking your brains for the past days, by the brightest, if not the brightest, minds in the Philippine cancer community. So our STEAM panel, at syempre, kayo, ang ating mga patient leaders at advocates, who are fully immersed in the everyday realities of patients in your respective communities. Pakinggan po natin silang mabuti. Isulat ninyo, tandaan nyo ang lahat ng kanilang sinabi at kanilang mga pangako na hindi mapapako. So allow me to introduce our panelists. Our first, brightest among the brightest. Siya na ata pinaka-poging presidente ng PhilHealth. President and CEO of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. He previously led the Power Sector Assets and Liabilities Management Corporation, another government-owned corporation before moving into power and energy consultancy. Our speaker, one of our panelists, has decades of experience in banking and corporate finance. Pwede tayong umutang sa kanya. Having worked with the Philippine Commercial International Bank and Royal Bank of Canada, so alam niya kung saan tayo kukuha ng pera, as well as the 12 years of wealth management expertise from his role as the Director and Vice President at Morgan Stanley's Private Health Management Group. Please welcome one of the brightest at pinakagwapang presidente ng PhilHealth, Emmanuel Ledesma Jr. Our next panelist is the President of the National Hospice and Palliative Care Council of the Philippines and founding President of the Ruth Foundation for Palliative and Hospice Care. She is the Vice Chairman of the Department of Occupational and Family Medicine at the Asian Hospital and Medical Center, and a palliative medical consultant at the Asian Cancer Institute. Our panelist is one of the founding board members of the Philippine Society of Hospice and Palliative Medicine, where she also served as the past president and is a member of board of directors of the Philippine College of Surgeons Cancer Commission Foundation. Isa sa pinakaring magandang doktorang nakilala ko, Dr. May Corvera. Mag-anak kami, day! Another panelist who is one of my brightest students. Yeah. At isa rin sa pinakamagandang estudyante ko. So lahat tayo maganda dito. Is the past president of the Philippine Society of Medical Oncology and a founding member of Cancer Coalition Philippines. She currently serves as the head of the Cancer Center at the East Avenue Medical Center. Please welcome Dr. Claire Vega Soliman. Okay, representing Dr. Rami Rojas, who unfortunately may sakit siya, so let's pray that he will be well soon, is the clinical program head of Healthway Cancer Care Hospital. So may we please call Mr. Robbie Posadas. Oh, tamo, gwapang-gwapo rin. The next is a civil engineer and licensed professional teacher. She is a Municipal Agrarian Reform Program Officer at the Department of Agrarian Reform, Province of Davao del Norte. Our panelist is also a GAD advocate, or GAD advocate, and a member of the National GAD Resource Pool of the Philippine Commission on Women. Today, she wears her hat as a 20-year breast cancer survivor and patient advocate, representing the Living Hope Cancer Survivors Club of Tagum, which was instrumental in institutionalizing iCanServe's flagship community-based cancer control program, Ating Dibdibin, in Tagum in 2020. Let us please call our next speaker and welcome her. Isa pong maganda rin, Ms. Melina Avila. So dahil ito ay isang Patient Power Philippine Summit, simulan na natin ating pag-uusap, diskusyonan with an exemplary patient leader who has flown all the way from Tagum. So, umpisahan po natin kay Melina. So, I understand po na yung program is newly instituted in your city. Okay. After everything that you have learned so far from this workshop, pag-uusap po kahapon at kanina, so how do you think you as a community leader and your community in Tagum, may community ng ating patient, ng ating iCanServe, can help, as you as a community leader, can help integrate yung supportive and survivorship care into the program of not just in Tagum, but sabi nga natin, whole of the society, the program into a country program in the future.
First of all, I would like to thank iCanServe for allowing me to be here. Ba't ba ako maiiyak pag dito? Kahapon kasi, during the opening, siguro, ba't ako teary-eyed? Na every time kasi pag may opening ang iCanServe, ba't talaga akong teary-eyed? Because I don't plan to be here. It's not part of my plan to be here. It's not part of my plan, supposedly, to be diagnosed with breast cancer. But during my crossroad, now, one good thing that happened to me is that hindi ko alam, iCanServe was waiting for me there. Since 2005, I grew up, I learned leadership styles, how to reach out patients, how to sustain a support group because of the guidance of iCanServe. Kara acknowledged me for helping be one of the instrument in institutionalizing Ating Dibdibin program in Tagum. But no, it is not because of me, but it is because iCanServe didn't give up on us. And mind you, I can never count how many times Kara has to visit us to Tagum just to advocate and to speak in my behalf. Kasi may fear talaga ako to speak before people like this one. Sorry talaga, Bisaya ako. At saka may fear ako to speak with people in the position. Kaya every time I advocate for this, it will really take me a long time to talk with God nga. Is it really for me? Medyo, I'm not prepared for this. But until now, I'm not prepared for this, Carl. But then thank you for the guidance and thank you for being always there for us. No, thank you for not really giving up on us. Now, for the learning sessions that we have yesterday, actually, is an eye-opener for me. Now, because yun palang mga discussions natin, especially doon sa financial assistance, iba kasi yung nadaanan ko before. No? That was 20 years ago, Doc. Wala pa kasing medicine access program. Wala pa kaming makukuhanan, wala pa akong idea kung saan kami kukuha ng mga assistance na libre. Kaya, one source lang is, it's either maglo-loan or to sell properties. Yan. Yun ang ginawa namin. para ma-fund yung chemotherapy at saka yung ibang treatment ko. We need to sell out some of our properties. So it's good to know na meron na talaga tayong mga financial assistance for patients. Yung mga sinasabi ng mga members ko this time na ma'am, covered naman yung yung treatment ko for trastuzumab. Oh really? Mahal yun sa amin during that time. It cost us 120 to 150,000. Hindi nga ako maka-afford na magpa-treat niyan. So I choose for another option, for a cheaper one. But good thing now that meron na talaga for patients who are HER2-positive patients na pwedeng maka-avail ng trastuzumab. Libre na yon, kasama na yon sa G package ng PhilHealth. At saka hindi ko rin alam na yung alam ko lang is maybe 5 years ago na yung PhilHealth, yung 100,000 na G package covers, inaging 1.4 million na talaga. Yun pala yung covered na yung trastuzumab. It's a good source of information for me. This is a good platform for me leaders to be updated so that I can advocate and to spread awareness to other patients like me, especially those not only for the newly diagnosed breast cancer patients, but also those na merong recurrence or with metastatic breast cancer. And so, on the question on how can I help integrate supportive and survivorship care in the program, ito yung first na naisipan ko na pwede ko nang gagawin. Even by the time na I will arrive in my place in Tagum City, I can share the information with my breast friends. Now, targeting at least, kasi sa ngayon, after pandemic talagang soaring high yung membership namin. Before pandemic, dyan lang kami, more or less lang, 30 to 40 patients lang kami in a group. But after pandemic, it's soaring high. Meron na kami, 100 na kami ngayon. And more, yung mga bagong sumasama sa amin in our group, mga stage 4, halos marami yung stage 4 breast cancer patients. So, with this information that I have, I can share this with them, especially on accessing medical assistance, especially on the expanded coverage of the PhilHealth, the CAF, and other financial resources. Meron kaming na-discuss kanina na pwede para yung kukuha ng mga referral notes from our politicians, no? Yung MAIP na sinasabi, na pwede pala yon to augment the need for financial assistance for our patients. I need to also advocate that for patients to promote self-advocacy, to empower survivors to advocate for their own care. They need to have follow-up after the treatment. They should follow surveillance and some protocols so that if there will be recurrence, it will be detected early. And also another is that to strengthen linkages with the NGOs. Now we partnered with the Rotary Clubs of the Davao del Norte and even the Davao region. So maybe we can strengthen linkages with them, and also women's organization in our localities. Also, we already have discussed earlier during the breakout session that it's good also to partner with barangay health workers, strengthen our linkages with them because they are our partners in spreading awareness in the barangay area. Also, we need to lobby. These partners, our NGOs, can be my Aaron. Yun lang na-share ko kanina na mahirapan talaga ako to talk with people in the position, especially politicians. I need to partner with other organizations. I need to ask them, please help me to lobby these concerns with these people. So after building linkages with them, strengthening linkages, because meron na kami pong linkages, we have created Pink TWG for the purpose of institutionalizing ating dibdibin program in Tagum City. So maybe we could lobby LGUs to develop and sustain patient navigation program to include the post-treatment care and palliative care. Another is that for the enhancement of city ordinance to integrate compassionate community in the ating dibdibin program of Tagum City. That's all. I hope you've learned something.
Wow! Ah! Parang hindi, nahihiya pa nga siya nun, ano? Pero, imagine nyo, a patient is the one who can really, para bang, siya yung makakaalam kung anong dapat, di ba? Kasi naramdaman mo, been there, done that. Tayo, yan. Been there, done that. So, kailangan we have to be absorptive with the information, but proper information. And that's where I Can Serve can really help out. And then, so you can translate and share all this information and be active in developing policy and convincing policymakers or local government, di ba? So, we have to be informed, well-informed, may tamang informasyon, ha? Hindi yung magaling sa mga Google Doc at saka TikTok na yan, ano? We have to be well-informed of the right informations so that we will be able to spread the right and tamang informations to everyone. So maraming salamat. Okay, so next, ang isang maganda rin sa panelists, ang aking katabi. My students, Doc Claire. Siya po ang isa sa tumulong kasi nung ginawa namin yung breast cancer package, 1.6 po yun eh. So meron pa siyang utang ang PhilHealth ng 200,000. Ano? Kasi 1.6 yun. Nung ginawa po namin, ginagawa pa lang yung breast cancer CPG. Oo, ginagawa pa. So we have to collect all the existing clinical pathways, yung mga process of care, local and international. So siguro in the next review of the package, wag muna natin i-review ngayon. Siguro in the next few years. Then, doon yung magagamit na po yung CPG. So, through the help of Claire, tinuruan kami kung paano yung aming gagawin. So, Doc Claire, from the PSMO's perspective, could you please tell us or provide us insights with regard to survivorship care planning? So what kind of support do public hospitals like East Avenue provide to patients when it comes to supportive and survivorship care?
Good afternoon po to you who are our source of what we do every day. You are our strength for each day na we wake up. I'll be putting my cap on for different organizations. So in the realm of Philippine Society of Medical Oncology, we have had mga vans po, parang we go around the country all year round trying to promote awareness, not just for breast cancer but for all cancers. So part of our module, teaching modules, yung pong survivorship care. So we do believe that survivorship care does not start from the time you end your treatment. Okay? Ang survivorship po starts when you get diagnosed. So we try to inform our patients and the people who attend our seminars that kailangan po from the start, kasama na kayo dun sa treatment planning. We always ask what you know about your disease, and we always ask what you want from us. Okay? So it's not a one-way process po na kung anong sinabi ng doktor nyo, yun na yun. No? So we would always ask for your permission kung hanggang saan po ang level na gusto ninyo. Most of our breast cancer patients, I know lymphedema po ang pinaka-problem. This means yung pong after surgery or radiation treatment, yung namamaga po yung mga kamay. No? So somehow that has been addressed already with the advent of new types of surgery. Okay? May mga paraan na po para ma-opera ang pasyente na hindi na kailangan linisin yung buong kilikili. No? Meron tayong tinatawag na sentinel node biopsy na ginagawa ng surgeons para ma-map out lang po kung how much lymph node ang kailangan alisin. So that reduces the chance of lymphedema. At East Avenue Medical Center, we have already partnered with our rehab med specialists. Hindi pa po na-opera ang pasyente, tinuturuan na po namin ng exercise. Yun po ang ang goal namin ngayon. Okay? We do not wait for the complication to occur from the outset. We try to prevent it kasi prevention nga is the best method of cure, di ba? So, hindi pa po na-opera, tinuturuan na namin ng tamang exercises para hindi po umabot dun sa ganong complication. And for those naman na unfortunately develop that side effect, we have our physical therapy sessions for them. If I put on my government hat, okay, we try to help government, sabi nga pa ni Dr. Mads, we try to help initiate the initiative for developing the breast cancer Z package. Sa mga na-diagnose po sa inyo, siguro in the year like 2010, ang alam ko po ang journey is you go from one government agency to another to ask for each cycle of chemotherapy. Kung hindi po alam ng mga iba, ganun po ang style nun. Cycle 1, pupunta ka kay PSO. Cycle 2, lalakad ka na naman, pipila ka na naman pagkahaba-haba for cycle 2. Okay? I was very happy in 2017 when we had run the meeting in DOH na the groups sila Cara, sila Mensch, ng Cancer Warriors, no? Si Oliver from their own group. So, nagkita-kita kami and we were all trying to create plans for government hospitals. And it was mentioned that each pala was having an initiative for the cancer law. At wala pong nagiging successful sa amin. So, it was decided na we put up a group called Cancer Coalition Philippines to try to, put our efforts together. And we were just very happy that in 2018, lumabas po yung cancer law. So with the cancer law, nakakahingi tayo ng support ng government. Actually, nakaka-demand tayo ng support from the government to put budgets in cancer such that yung pasyente noong 2010, napipila kada cycle ng treatment. Ngayon po, hindi na. Kasi from beginning to end, covered na po siya. And then, na-improve pa po yung trastuzumab, di ba? Dati, ganun din. Pagkatapos po ng chemo, goodbye, wala nang trastuzumab kasi masyado po siya mahal. Since I work at East Avenue, I can see na only 1% of our patients get to have trastuzumab. Pero ngayon, pagka-enroll with the enhancement of the Z package, the Z benefit package, kaya na po lahat yon, all 18 cycles for a whole year. Okay? So, we are trying to make it easy. Thank you. So, we are trying to make it easy for each and everyone who needs treatment, okay? But it does not end there. It does not end with treatment, no? We improve the survivorship, meaning humahaba po ang buhay ng isang pasyenteng may breast cancer or any cancer for that matter because of not just the correct surgery, not just the correct chemotherapy regimen, but the whole package po yon, no? So after yung pinag-uusapan nating survivorship, it's continuing care. So when we ask you to come every 3 months, it's because meron po tayong chance na bumalik ang cancer ulit, pwedeng sa kabilang breast or sa ibang parts ng body, or you can always develop as another cancer na sana hindi mangyari. And these things, mape-prevent po namin na umabot na naman ng late stage kung dumadating po kayo for your survivorship schedule. So pag sinabi ng doctor sa inyong every 3 months, magkikita na lang po tayo, hindi na every 3 weeks, wag po kayong magagalit. Kasi it's our way of taking care of you in terms of survivorship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Claire. Pero may study ang I Can Serve na sinasabi nila, madami, 74% hindi pa alam yung cancer survivorship plan. Oo. So, kailangan talaga more information, may bibigay natin, at siguro through their organizations, then through the government itself, siguro kasama, pag ngayong eleksyon, lagay kaya nila, imbis na yung sangkaterbang mga mukha-mukha nila, sa placard. Ay, ilagay ko ano yung mga plano nila para sa pasyenteng may cancer. Di ba? Sabihin natin, wag na puro mukha mo dyan. Yung ano yung plano mo, yung ilagay mo. Di ba? O yan. So para ma-inform ang lahat na at sisingilin ka, masisingil ka. Hindi lang yung pangako. Hindi lang yung purong I promise you. Ang atin pong dumadating na isa sa speaker, as panelist, kasama po ni ang pinakagwapong presidente ng PhilHealth, ay isa sa aking anak. Anak ko kasi, sila ho yung mga staff ko na nagdusa habang ako po ay Senior Vice President ng PhilHealth. Nagdusa kasi kahit Sabado at Linggo, pinababasa ko sila ng mga literatures. At sa Paglunes, merong silang recitation sa akin. She is now in charge of the benefit development. Siya po rin ang in charge sa overall strategies and functions of the health financing policies. Yun yung mga ginagawa ko ho noon. Siya ho ngayon ang sumasalo. Ngayon naman po, ang taga Healthway Cancer Care Center Program. Ngayon kahapon ko lang nalaman yun eh. Okay. Buti meron ganyan. Okay. Sa Robbie Sadas. Okay. Could you please share to us, ano po itong program ng Healthway Cancer Care Center Program? Meron din po ba kayong mga tinatawag na survivorship? Part ng inyong service?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm standing in on behalf of Doc Rami Rojas, our
Hello.
medical director. And we would like to congratulate I Can Serve for having this forum and meaningful conversations regarding breast cancer. Well, in Healthway Cancer Care Hospital, yes, we have what we call Quality of Life program. So within the Quality of Life program, we have the different services na pinag-uusapan natin since yesterday. So we have the navigation program for our patient. So every time a patient is diagnosed with cancer, we assign a nurse, and the nurse stand in as the patient advocate. So the role of the nurse is to make sure that the patient will comply with the treatment plan on a timely manner. Kasi alam naman natin na when a patient is diagnosed with cancer, very magulo na yung isip niya. Hindi na niya minsan na-absorb yung ine-explain ng doktor. So ang role ng nurse doon is to ensure that the patient understand whatever it is na ine-explain ng doktor, and that the patient can ask questions to the doctor. So prior to the family conference, ang nurse nakikipag-usap na sa pasyente, and ginaguide na niya yung pasyente kung ano yung mga right questions na kailangan tanong, and minimake sure ng nurse na naiintindihan ng pasyente yung mga dinidiscuss during the family conference. Another service that we have under the Quality of Life ay the nutrition. So yesterday, we have discussed the importance of nutrition in every stage of cancer, in every journey of a cancer patient. The same way as rehab, yung mga exercises that we have discussed yesterday. And nandito din si Francis yesterday regarding lymphedema, and si Dr. Habito for taking good care of your skin. So those are the services that are included in our Quality of Life program. Very important then, the service, support service for our cancer patient is taking good care of your mental health. So we have our doctor, a psych doctor, who's in charge to look after the mental health of our cancer patients. So lahat ito ine-explain ng doctor upon family conference before the start of every treatment. So those are the services that we have under Healthway Cancer Care Hospital.
Wow, comprehensive talaga, no? O, sana lahat ng hindi lang private, pati government, may gano'n. Sa East Avenue, umpisahan na yung gano'n. Ando na yung building. O, so, makakarating din tayo doon. Yan. So, ang ginagawa ho ng Healthway, there's such thing now, di ba noon may tinatawag na DALI-ish, di ba? Disability Adjusted Life Year. Tapos, naging QALY, naging ano yan, HALI, Health Adjusted Life Year. Sa economics po yan. Tapos, naging DALI, Disability Adjusted Life Year. Tinitignan yung mga disability kung paano it will affect the budget and the longevity of life and the support at cost effectiveness doon sa ng programa. Naging quality of life naman ngayon. Alam niyo ba the such thing na nakuha to sa mga pag-aaral ng mga hayop? WALI. Well-being Adjusted Life Year. Pasensya na, teacher ako. So, yan ang natutunan ninyo ngayon, ha? Yung WALI. Well-being Adjusted Life Year. I think that is what they are doing right now. Implementing WALI to animals, to human, through the Cancer Survivorship Program, a whole complex, a whole comprehensive program. From the very start, sabi nga ni Dr. Claire, umpisa pa lang, andyan ka na. Hindi kita iiwanan habang buhay tayong magsasama. Oh, dahil gumagwapo si Sir, habang tinititigan ko. Lola na ho ako, don't worry. Sir Robbie, Dr. Corbera, ang aking kababayan, kamag-anak, mga Corbera kasi kamag-anak ng mother ko. Oo, Moscoso, no? O, tamo, dito pa kami nagkakilala. Magpinsan pala kami, Doc May. Okay, would you please walk us through your hospice care project, and do you think we can use this as a model to institutionalize, help the government as well, pick it up as a strategy and a model in supportive and survivorship care plan?
Yes.
Not only in private but also in government facilities.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm going to first put on my hat as an advocate. As a 20 years ago na practitioner in the community, when I finished my palliative medicine and PGH, I went straight to an NGO that is in my community, which is one of the oldest hospices in the Philippines. It's Ayala Alabang Hospice. We would go to the most needy of patients in our city. It's a church-formed hospice. We had one doctor, which was me, and one nurse, which would go to the patients needing home care. And that is where I saw the gap between the needs of these patients and what, the private setting. So, of course, I did come from PGH where we get referrals for home care. And these are patients who need to be sent home because the bed is needed in the hospital and there's no more cure. So right out of PGH, I volunteered and then worked with Ayala Alabang Hospice, breast cancer patients in their advanced stages needing wound dressing, needing pain control, and one of the patients that stick out in my mind is a single mom whose family was also suffering from the tolls of her cancer. Another patient that stuck out, 13-year-old girl's osteosarcoma, as big as a volleyball. We needed to supply her morphine, so at that time, DOH had a subsidy for free morphine. This was a 13-year-old cachectic girl with bone cancer, but we had to get her morphine up to 100 milligrams a day. She was still awake at that dose, but she was able to be brought to National Bookstore on her wheelchair and enjoy the day. That was our goal for her. And that showed me the importance of access to pain medications for cancer patients. And the third patient na cancer is cervical, another patient that stuck out. My mind, very advanced with a fistula between the rectum, the urinary bladder. I maybe not should be so descriptive, but all of the symptoms so difficult to manage na walang dadalaw sa kanya. Ayala Alabang Hospice. So those are the types of patients I saw in my early practice. So that's 20-some years ago. Good thing there were 2 private hospitals that asked me to help start up the hospice program, home care. So private hospitals po ito. And we were able to do so. And then I saw the gap. Paano na lang? If they cannot afford. So that was what got me into the advocacy. And over the past 20 years, we were able to establish a foundation that does home visits for hospice patients in Muntinlupa. The beautiful story of this is we worked to demonstrate what should be done through the foundation. So we had doctors and nurses, counselors, social workers for free going to these patients. Eventually, the city government adopted had an executive order to establish a community-based team now. One of their city health officers trained in Mindanao for specialty, because after PGH, it was SPMC that had a fellowship. So they trained, specialists came back, and now she's leading the community-based palliative and hospice care program of the city. And it's well part of the LGU. So that's what my advocacy had. And that's what we want to see and model for other municipalities to bring it down. So we're happy that, like for organizations such as I Can Serve, where palliative and hospice care is now coming alongside the team to advocate, and also even for the localization of the NICA, I go with the team of Cancer Coalition to the different provinces to introduce the need to train for palliative care. So we know that we cannot give the service if we don't build capacity among our health workers. And I tell you, palliative and hospice care is the cheapest thing to invest on because it's manpower. You don't need expensive. But you see not just the palliative value of it, but the preventive value. I have seen in my practice patients who have been cared for their loved one, once they pass on, sooner or later, within 1 year, their loved one is diagnosed with cancer because of the stress of illness, if there is lack of support. So that's my hat as an advocate. And it can be done, it can be localized. Our Society in Hospice Philippines is now on the road to helping build capacity along with DOH, because there is now a national program for palliative and hospice care with a training manual for basic and intermediate. And we want to capacitate nurses, doctors on the ground, and even the community, which maybe you heard earlier about compassionate communities. We want to build capacity among the 90% of the population that actually the patient is with 90% of the time. The healthcare workers, 10% of the time. But we can support these patients through building capacity in other sectors. So that's, again, my advocacy. Now, going now to the practice, the private, I am also with the private hospital. And I'm really happy to hear that Healthway and then East Ave, rehab is very important, especially nutritional care. So this survivorship program that we're hearing about, we're learning more about, it can be in one package, if I may, sir. Because Macmillan demonstrated the value of prehabilitation, and that's what Dr. Eric was saying. Rehabilitation consult before surgery, nutritional upbuilding consult before surgery, and counseling before surgery or chemotherapy. So prehabilitation before the long haul, and that's something that other governments cover already as part of a palliative and hospice care package. So the developed countries have these packages for patients in the advanced stages of cancer. Put it together, and maybe that's something that can be. And then in terms of CPGs, just last year we finished the CPG for palliative and hospice care among adult patients with cancer. So my CPG na din, sir. So if we look into what's covered in palliative care in other countries, we have already the templates, we have the CPGs in other countries, what's covered. And of course, WHO has long provided us with an essential list of palliative and pain medications, an essential list of palliative care services, which is backed up by studies. So we don't have to go far to look for that component. So again, that's my take.
Thank you. Imagine mo, it started with a dream. So I have a dream now. She is fulfilling that dream. So pwede pa rin. Kayang-kaya pa rin, di ba? Talagang kailangan lang determination to do it. And of course, the support of the community as well. I was a volunteer to palliative care when I was in Germany studying. So every weekend, we bring out the patients. Kaya yun yung libreng travel ko sa Germany. Para wala akong pera pang lakwatsa. So nagbo-volunteer ako, dalhin yung mga pasyente, mga matatanda. So kaya marami akong narating na libre. Ganun yun. So there's a way, and sabi nyo nga, you've already planted the seed, so kailangan na lang yan, yung magbunga, yung seat, ayan ng Healthway. Sir, more support to her. Okay. Now, ang isa sa pinaka-importanting panelists, lahat sila importante, pero ito pinaka-importante sa lahat din. Dahil PhilHealth. So, ang gwapong presidenteng Sir Mandy, totoo, hindi ako nagbibiro. Ikaw ang pinakagwapo. Sino si Salamea? Matanda na yon. Oh, sino di ba? Sino ba? Yung isa, hindi naman yun gwapo eh. Gwapa yun eh, yung isa. Yung mga NBI, hindi naman gwapo. Si General, matangkad, pero, di ba? Dr. President Mandy or Ish can also answer. Sabi po doon sa survey na ginawa ng I Can Serve sa mga pasyente. Mandy, hindi akin to galing sa survey to. Sana daw, PhilHealth, wag lang puro publicity. Sana daw tunay na maramdaman. Okay. Wag daw pahihirapan ng mga requirements. At wag lang daw very promising, I promise you all the time. Wag lang pangako ng pangako. So dapat daw, ang pangako ay itutuparin. So Sir Mandy, okay, or Ish, so how can PhilHealth now, hearing all of these experiences, meron naman pala tayong evidence locally, how can PhilHealth now facilitate the integration, or I guess the application of all these plans to be institutionalized as a survivorship and supportive care for cancer patients and survivors? May plus 10 na sila dahil naka 1.4 million na si breast cancer. And with another question is, how can PhilHealth now capacitate or help DOH capacitate the primary care providers to provide care with your, not only the Z package, pero yung konsulta package. Ayan. Sunsulta tawag kasi doon, susuta, to provide care to cancer survivors.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ma'am, thank you very much for the question. I will address the question, and then afterwards, I'm sure our Senior Vice President for HFPS, yung HFPS po stands for Health Finance Policy Sector, no? Si Dr. Ish Pargas leads the department and is actually responsible. So lahat po ng nakikita niyong increase ng benefit packages, increase ng case packages, lahat po yan, that's all the hard work of Dr. Ish Pargas po. Of course, that includes the increase of the breast cancer package from 100,000 to 1.4 million pesos po.
Anak ko yan.
Again, ma'am, thank you very much for the question. Ma'am, I just want to mention also that ever since I met you, which was just when I joined PhilHealth, I continue to learn from you and I continue to look up to you, Professor. Please continue your hard work and your help for the health advocacy of the country. Maraming salamat.
Sa akin, ganyan lang ako maglambing.
Also, ma'am, I would like to, before I answer the question, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank I Can Serve Foundation for inviting myself, Doc Ish, and the others from PhilHealth to this wonderful workshop, no? Excellent workshop. And every time we at PhilHealth, every time we have an opportunity to discuss our programs and policies, we are very grateful and we are very honored, no, to be able to do that. So sana po, tuloy-tuloy po, please invite us to all your workshops and to all your events. Dadating po kami dyan, and we are very honored. So maraming salamat. Alam nyo, I know it will sound self-serving, pero hindi po kami puro promises lang. Hindi po kami puro forma lang. Hindi po kami puro salita lang. We really do our job po, no? And again, it may sound self-serving, pero sa lahat po ng nakinig sa SONA ni President Marcos this year and last year po, parehong most mentioned po ang PhilHealth when it comes to accomplishments. So po, hindi po nating masasabi na puro salita lang kami. Talaga po nagtatrabaho kami. And again, you know, I can, if I had the time, I can enumerate almost every month, no, this year, we have a new increase in case benefit package, no? Talagang tuloy-tuloy po yan, no? Mahirap po na trabaho, but we are here to serve. We are here really to try our best po. So, in closing, no, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'll pass on the mic to Doc Ish, no, to elaborate more on the increase in the benefit packages. I just want to say thank you again to I Can Serve. Thank you very, very much. Please continue to invite us and include us in all of your workshops and in all of your events so that we can all help each other. We can all help the President Marcos be the first president to successfully implement universal healthcare in the country. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Tama po yung nabanggit ng ating presidente na since 2022, when he actually came in, talaga pong nagkaroon ng aggressive improvement and expansion yung benefits namin. From 2022, 2023, hanggang ngayon pong 2024, at may nakaplano na rin po siya for 2025 and 2026. So meron na po kaming approved benefit plan. And of course, we need to do that in order to prioritize kung ano po yung mga kinakailangan pa at mga pagkukulang pa. So tama rin po naman yung kayo bilang a patient group or an interest group would also come in and tell us ano ba yung mga pagkakailangan pa ninyo para maisama po natin. Yun pong, natutuwa lang ako kasi yung pong sa shinare ng Healthway, actually yan din po ang nilalayo naman ng ating gobyerno, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa universal healthcare. Merong navigator, which is the primary care, and of course, meron pong magfo-focus ng treatment kung kinakailangan through the network of facilities. So meron lang small sample from the private, na katulad ng Healthway, pero sa atin sa gobyerno, kabuoang health system yung gustong baguhin. Pero yun din po yung nilalayon, na meron pong isang magga-guide sa isang pasyente kung saan siya pupunta, kung anong tamang gamutan ang makukuha niya, at kung anong mga benepisyo ang dapat makukuha. So parang nag-a-align naman yung mga stars natin ng private and public. Now, under the universal healthcare po, ang PhilHealth is mandated to provide promotive, preventive, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative services. So, kasama po talaga sa plano ng PhilHealth ang paglalabas at pagde-develop ng palliative services.
Okay.
And I'm very happy to hear na meron po tayong source data as evidences, may CPG na rin po, at meron na po tayong pwedeng makonsulta na expert. Because alam naman po natin that PhilHealth actually started ng facility-based. Ang lahat ng benefits, hospital. And then we're moving to primary care. Pero kung titingnan natin, doon sa palliative, there's another model coming in na pwede yung community-based, locally designed. Pwede ngang home-based, di ba? So meron po tayo ngayon. So medyo hindi na po ako mahihirapan at si Presidente na managinip, ano kayang design ng palliative services? Kasi pwede na nating merong i-pattern. So, yung pong imbitasyon nyo sa amin dito is really a very good input already for us. Kasi kasama naman po talaga siya sa mandato ng PhilHealth na dapat may palliative services kami na magagawa.
So, ang I Can Serve, say may mga gamot wala pa sa formulary, through PhilHealth, you will be the voice to the HTA committee. Ganon
Yes.
din yun kasi, di ba?
Yes,
Okay.
that's one of my, well, yun din po yung isang naging statement natin with the pharmaceutical companies who are actually providing the innovative drugs, especially for cancers. Kasi nga po, medyo wala pang approval sa HTA, hindi nakakasama sa PNF, so hindi namin nababayadan. So ang statement namin, we will help facilitate.
Sir Mandy, meron nung kaming ginawa noon na solusyon dyan. Alam nyo ni Ish.
So sumulat na rin po kami sa HTA to help facilitate ng evaluation ng mga drugs na yon, kasi we are reviewing right now our benefits, especially for cancer. Nauna na nga yung breast. So, habang nire-review namin or na-evaluate yung cancers na Z-benefit packages namin, gusto rin sana namin na maisama na sana yung mga innovative drugs kung ma-i-evaluate na ng HTA at mapapasama na sa
Pwede na yung
PNS.
buhayin yung positive list. Huwag mo na antayin yung HTA na yan.
Actually
Matagal
nga-
pa yan.
Actually, ma'am, tinitingnan ko talaga yung ating positive list before.
Diba?
Opo, kaya lang tinitingnan ko sa batas ngayon na dati kasi nakasulat yung positive list sa RA.
Sa atin, pinasok
Opo,
natin sa
atin.
PhilHealth.
Kaya lang, nung lumabas yung UHC, ang naiwan na lang doon is lahat ng bago, including the drugs, should go through a HTA, and when there is already a positive recommendation, that's the only time that we can actually pay.
Bibigyan kita ng
So yun po yung
way to
hinihingi
go
ko sa
around
ngayon,
that.
yung
Mag-usap na lang
how we
tayo,
can
sir.
actually go around
Oo.
it. But again, gaya po ng nabanggit natin at nabanggit ng ating tagapangulo, ni President Mandy Ledesma, we already started aggressively expanding our benefits. In 2023, we started with pneumonia, increasing it from 32,000 to, alam nyo ba, na 90,000 na siya ngayon. Opo,
We
yung
should
pong
have
ating
that.
dengue, severe, is from 16,000. The board has just already approved it to be at 47,000. Yun pong nabalita na single period of confinement, na prinamis rin ng ating tagapangulo, nakapublish po today yung circular, lifting the single period of confinement na po. So, and gaya po na nabanggit ng ating tagapangulo, marami pa po kaming ilalabas bago matapos ang taon, to include the cataract extraction, pati po yung mga review ng aming mga cancers and chemotherapy for selected cancers. So, siguro po during the Q&A, mas mababanggit po natin ito. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much sa ating mga panelists. O diba, hindi lang sila mga gwapo, hindi lang sila magaganda, at hindi lang sila puro pangako. Talagang ibibigay ang kahilingan, at kung kailangan tulungan natin sila para maibigay. So we have mga four questions from the audience, or kung pwede po, tulungan niyo po ako kung sino po ang ang ating tatawagin. Ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon po. So I'm Eileen. I am recently diagnosed in February, stage 4, but I started stage 1 in August. So I am an ER, PR, and HER2 positive. So I am doing the targeted therapy. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who is responsible for making it easier for us as patients, PhilHealth, government, NGOs, support groups, to cope with the challenge. So for me, it has just been, less than 6 months, and it has progressed to stage 4. And it's very challenging in terms of hindi lang yung mental health, hindi lang yung physical, everything, but most especially yung financial. So sabi nga nila, the rich became poorer, and whatever, di ba? Pero yun, maraming salamat because nakikita naman namin yung help ng government to help us with the purchase of medicines, the hospitals. But my concern is, like yesterday, we asked it with PhilHealth. Kasi I was so happy when I heard the 1.4. Kasi sabi ko, there would be more chances of winning. Di ba? Kasi it's a fact na marami ng discussion kanina yesterday about the finances. The money is really an issue. It's a sad reality that they say, pag wala kang pera, you can die. Di ba? Parang ganun because of you're unable to buy the medicines, ganyan. So when I heard the 1.4, I was happy about it. And so yesterday, when it was discussed, and then there was a certain slide that said, the targeted therapy, which I have, is only for 18 cycles. So I asked, what if I am metastatic And my treatment will be continuous. So yung pertusumab, at first there was trastuzumab. When it progressed, trastuzumab. When it progressed, nag-eribulin. So I have with zoledronic. So that's 4 cycles, 4 medicines. Paano po yun? When my doctor would say, you can't really stop treatment. Nag-give up na ako actually because it was so expensive. Out of pocket yung eribulin and pertusumab. Okay. So patients like us, ayoko na lang, wag na lang akong magpa-treat. Okay na ako, doc, ganito na lang. But we'd like to ask, is it possible, you said kanina, we can tweak it, di ba? Baka po pwede naman, like, it was mentioned earlier, hindi kasi kasama sa PNF yung pertusumab. So like, at least the eribulin with Roche, anyway, there's a program.
Yes.
Yan. So that is also helpful.
Okay.
Pero how can we
Okay.
extend?
Okay.
Ma'am, we'll address the question first, no? Thank you very much, ma'am, for your question, no? And you're welcome. You're thanking PhilHealth. What I want to say, ma'am, is we are really, really working hard and trying our best, no, to address the healthcare and the health situation of the country, no. And when I mentioned earlier that we want to hear your comments, your inputs, your suggestions, so that we can tweak the packages. And, you know, at the end of the day, ma'am, no one is perfect. So we felt at that time we had implemented the package, we felt that 1.4 million maybe was the right number. Maybe it was the sweet spot. But then again, we may be wrong. Baka we'll find out later on, kulang pa yan, ma'am. That's why we are strongly encouraging all of you, no, to please give us your valuable inputs so that we can tweak and address the package properly, no. Now, definitely, a short answer is, pwede bang galawin, pwede bang i-tweak, pwede bang yes, definitely. We can tweak, we can adjust, we can increase, no. And we want to do what's necessary, no. And PhilHealth has the funding, PhilHealth has the support, PhilHealth has the capability and the manpower, no? So all we need really now is to put together all of the excellent ideas and excellent inputs, and we will address it, no? And to elaborate a little more on my question, I will pass it on to Doc Ish, because when you were asking the question, si Doc Ish kept on nodding and saying, pwede, no?
Thank you, sir.
At gagawin po namin po.
Ish, ha? 1.5 years ko ginawa yan, ha?
Yeah.
Sige.
Actually, si ma'am po, isa siya sa nag-provide ng data and costing analysis pagdating do sa breast cancer. So, pasalamatan din po natin si Dr. Valera.
Thank you, Doc.
Ang ano lang dyan is, hindi lang ho ang PhilHealth ang may kasalanan. Ang mga hospital, isa yan. Dahil kung di sila magbibigay ng data, wala namang gagamitin ng PhilHealth. Ano, titingala na lang ba si Ish sa langit palagi? Di ba, Ish?
Actually, ma'am, that's a very good point. Sorry, Doc Ish, that's a very good point. That's why as we're moving forward here, we need the full cooperation of everybody, the hospitals, the doctors, again, the foundations,
Sabihin
the
yan sa
associations.
Kongreso kay Congressman Lee. Pagalitan niya yung mga hospital ng DOH. Pero magsasalita din si after you is si Dr. Claire.
Yes po. And we do our packages together with your experts. Yun pong inyong mga doktor, medical oncologist, surgical oncologist, lahat po yan ay kasama sa pag-develop ng ating pakete. So, with the input coming from you po, we would again go back to the table and discuss kung meron pong mga pagkakataon na kakailanganin yung mga ganito. And again, gaya ng sabi ng ating tagapangulo, we can always tweak the policy. Nothing is cast in stone. Tayo din po ang gumagawa niyan at tayo rin po ang pwedeng magbago niyan. Gusto ko rin din lang pong iparating sa lahat na again, we do have some priorities. Opo. Kasi katulad halimbawa po ng kidney transplant. Alam niyo po ba na sa kidney transplant, ang covered lang natin so far sa ngayon is the operation. Wala po yung gamot na anti-rejection, immunosuppressant na lifetime na niyang iinumin after the transplant. So may mga ganun din po tayong tinitingnan pa na ibang pagkakasakit. But again, as part of our process, we will look into your suggestion po.
Yan.
Because that will actually help a lot for those who would actually need it.
Okay. So PhilHealth, di ka magmamakaawa, hindi ka magmamalimos, hindi ka mangungutang. Dr. Claire?
Yung pong question niya, ma'am, for the Philippine Society of Medical Oncology, I head kasi the External Affairs Committee, and we are in close collaboration with PhilHealth. And last week, we just actually had an orientation for all the Philippine Society of Medical Oncology for the Breast Z package po. Unfortunately, we have private hospitals who are a little worried about the pricing. So we were trying to explain, because I know how it went nung paano nila, dati kasi po, pang-government hospital lang po ang iniisip sa Z package. This time, they enhanced it na tinignan po nila yung presyo ng private at tinignan nila yung presyo ng government. So we were trying to encourage our medical oncologists to look, especially the ones in the private hospitals, to try to see how they can embrace the Z package para maging available po siya sa private institutions. For the medicines, we did discuss it during that meeting na unfortunately marami pong, yung beyond trastuzumab, yung inyong pertuzumab, and then the new anti-HER2 treatments, wala pa po siya sa HTA, hindi pa po sila approved. So we're helping PhilHealth in a sense na linista po namin yung mga WHO essential list of cancer medicines na they have to prioritize in terms of evaluation. And at the same time, we're helping them in terms of the review, yung pong mga, all the data that they need in terms of support for the drugs to be included in HTA. Dati po kasi diretso kami sa HTA. Ngayon, nakikisuyo kami sa PhilHealth para mapabilis pong pansinin ni HTA. No? So that's how we're trying to help.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Maraming
you very
salamat
much.
po.
One more question, Ma'am Bibet,
Yes.
please.
I just want to have something clarified. But first, congratulations, because 2 days ago I had a CT scan and an endoscopy at the Makati Medical Center, and for the first time I was allowed to use both my deductions as a senior citizen.
Yes.
Even if I don't look like I'm a senior citizen.
Yeah.
And my PhilHealth, first time nangyari yan. Kasi dati, I was made to choose PhilHealth or senior, okay? Even when I had COVID, in the Delta COVID times, okay? Now, I just want this clarified. The sister of a high school classmate is currently having her chemo at the Jose Reyes Memorial Hospital. She registered herself as an indigent. But before she can have her chemo, she is made to stay overnight in the hospital, and then the chemo will be done tomorrow, and then she's again made to stay overnight in the hospital. She's in a semi-private ward. And then I've been asking around, and I was told that some government hospitals do that on purpose para daw makapagpa-reimburse sila sa PhilHealth. So my question is, if totoo ba ito? Kung totoo, bakit pumapayag ang PhilHealth? Pangatlo, hindi ba dapat yung mga bagay na ganun mag-redound na lamang sa benefit ng pasyente? Yun po ang tanong ko.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Bibet. Short answer?
Well, for one po, chemotherapy is being paid by PhilHealth as a reimbursement, and that is even outpatient. Hindi po kailangan ma-confine for chemotherapy. But of course, there are chemo sessions na kailangan naka-confine kasi medyo matagal po yung kanilang infusion. Pero again, hindi po kailangan ma-confine kung kailangan ng outpatient benefit package lang for chemotherapy, because we cover that as an OPD. But because you already said that, we can check, and with your particular name of the hospital, we can also check na po.
Maraming salamat
Thank
po.
you.
Kasi
Thank you.
she registered as an indigent, and I'm just concerned kasi
Yeah.
Correct.
paano yung yung talagang
Opo.
walang
So, Ma'am
walang
Yvette, pakisabi na
efforts.
lang yung sa kanya mamaya anong hospital.
Okay, I will.
Thank you
I will.
very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you din. Thank you.
One last po. Sorry, we are 30 minutes over.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Patricia Lim, and I'm a cancer coach. My question is, for some stage 4 cancer patients, required sila to go through quarterly PET scans. So, maaari po bang masagot ito ng PhilHealth? Para sa mga stage 4 cancer patients? Sobrang mahal ng PET scan po.
Well, for one, yun pong PET scans ay covered ng PhilHealth kung confined. Pero ngayon po, yung as an outpatient, we are already looking into that. PET scan, MRI, and CT scan. Kung pwede po or kakayanin ng pondo na makover natin, yun pong as it is, kung siya ay hindi kailangan confined or as an outpatient. And then, yun din pong coverage natin, depende po yan doon sa CPG at yun pong treatment protocols na sinusunod ng ating mga society at ng mga ating doktor, yun din po yung ina-align namin sa mababayadan.
Okay.
So, kung kailangan po or nasa treatment protocol na quarterly, pwede natin i-consider. Pero kung hindi po siya nasa treatment protocol and by doctor's choice, yun pong quarterly PET scan na sobrang mahal, maaaring hindi natin makover yung quarterly. But again, we are looking already into covering PET scan as an outpatient.
Yeah, thank you. Kasi alam nyo, nung nasa PhilHealth ako, ang dami rin kasi namang provider na inaabuso. Kaya yung mga umaabusong provider, pag sinabi, kailangan mo ganyan, doktor, nasa guideline ba yun ng PhilHealth? Yan. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, if I just want to add, ma'am, thank you very much for your question. No? We are going to look closely into it. But magandang example po yan. Going forward, sana everybody, basta meron kayong suggestion or meron kayong query, let us know. No? Kasi that will alert us na kung hindi pa ginagawa, talagang titignan po namin, i-consider po namin yan. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you rin
so
po.
much. One last. Yes, please.
Good afternoon po. I'm
And the
Dr.
rest.
Patricia Caballero from Calapan, Oriental, Mindoro. First of all, ang hospital where I work sa Oriental Mindoro Provincial Hospital ay Z-package na po ng preterm. And then, moving forward na po kami sa leukemia and breast cancer. However, meron po kaming problem pa ng konti regarding po sa LTO ng DOH. That's why I keep on telling na sana po naka-align yung self-assessment tool ng PhilHealth and DOH. And regarding po sa outpatient po ng chemotherapy, tama po yun. Hindi po lahat ng hospital accredited ng SABEN. Hindi po lahat ng hospital may license ng OPD, chemotherapy. Ngayon po, medyo nahigpitan po ng konti ang LTO ng DOH kasi may mga requirements na po na kailangan nating sumunod para po sa safety ng lahat. Pag hindi po natin sinunod, kawawa po empleyado, kawawa ang pasyente. Like for example, biosafety cabinet na napakamahal, na napakahirap i-install. Pero sir, kami po ay naka-step 1 na sa licensing and accreditation and we're hoping po na makapag-apply po kami sa PhilHealth at makahingi sa inyo ng technical assistance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doktora. Wala naman tanong yun, ano? Nagti-thank you po sa inyo. So,
Ma'am,
pasensya. Opo, sir.
I'll just make a quick comment and then I don't know if Doc Ish wants to. Ma'am, thank you very much for your, well, like Ma'am said, I don't know if it was a question, for the comment, no? But I just want to assure you, Ma'am, alam mo yung board of directors ng PhilHealth, there are 15 of us, no? I sit on the board as vice chairman. Ang chairman of the board, si DOH Secretary Ted Herbosa. And we have at least one to two board meetings a month. In those board meetings, we really get to discuss anything and everything regarding PhilHealth. So, again, like I mentioned earlier, ang ganda po ng comment nyo na sana dapat aligned yung DOH at PhilHealth. continue nyo lang po yan, ma'am. What I'll do now with what you mentioned, I will mention it to on our next board meeting, which is this week, no? I will mention it to SecTed. So para at least we can improve also the coordination and the alignment between DOH and PhilHealth. Although maganda na po ngayon yan, there's still also room for improvement. So with comments like that, we really welcome it, ma'am, so that at least maintindihan namin where we should cooperate more. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Pasensya na po, over na po tayo ngayon. So we really have to wrap up. Narinig na ho nila ang inyong mga concern. At today, sana yung mga seeds na itinanim ngayong araw na itong mga impormasyon na galing sa inyo at galing din sa kanila pong mga panelists ay mamunga pa ng ating diskusyon in the future. And definitely this won't be the last meaningful conversations we will have to address the survivorship and supportive care needs of the growing number of breast cancer survivors. Indeed, implementing a coordinated survivorship care broadly will require additional health care resources and commitment from PHIC, from the government, from our public hospitals, private providers, local government unit, our doctors, as a whole society, as a whole community, as a whole country approach. So this is indeed a substantial work. Thank you, ICAN, sir, for this opportunity. And meron lang ako after all this discussion mula kanina at ngayon, do not forget SPIC, speak. What does it mean? Summary na po ng ating discussion this morning and today. Speak, there's a need for coordinated transition planning for the survivorship care. Speak, surveillance, sino-sino nangangailangan at kailangang umpisahan. Prevention for P, I, intervention, and lastly, coordination for C. Speak. So, thank you so much at pwede po tayo mag-photoshoot muna bago umalis.